Thank you so much, Ondiro. Now, welcome to the segment that gives you, our viewers, an opportunity to share and interact with us. This week is Meet the Press special. We get to interact with a lot of journalists, not just in Kenya, but around the world. Now, as I mentioned, this week, since it's Meet the Press, most of our tweets, all of them actually, will be from journalists. And we start from Larry Madowo. He says, I've had a few people claim that black people are somehow immune to COVID-19. I haven't seen any scientific evidence of that. Don't be careless. Now, this was a tweet initially when the virus hit. People were saying, oh, Africans, we can't get the virus, oh. And you've seen lately, the numbers keep on going up. Well, take care of yourself. Victoria Rubadiri says, President Uhuru Kenyatta, our 2 levels of government are failing to enforce COVID-19 protocols. The curfew checkpoints have become outlets for corruption. We saw a video online where the border riders would pay police so that they could cross the checkpoints. What's the purpose of having checkpoints when you can easily cross them just by dashing out 50 shillings? I don't think that's right. Another tweet, Richard Quest says, long 14-day quarantines are not the answer. Pre-departure testing with fast results will help restore travelers' confidence. Many countries are doing this, more should. The situation is critical and needs more coordinated action. I think Quest was talking about the resumption of flights traveling. And if you look at Kenya, for instance, it takes you 72 hours. They will require you to have like the test 72 hours prior. And you can remember some of these flights take longer than that. And so his suggestion was make the testing faster. Make the results come faster than the number of hours that we keep on having previously. Another tweet at Jeff Koinange says, folks, just to let you know, I have tested positive for COVID-19. I'm doing good, no symptoms, and my family is fine. All my close contacts have been informed. Right now, I'm in self-isolation. Many thanks to Royal Media Services Management for its support. Stay safe and God bless. If you look at journalists, the job that we do, we interact with people a lot, probably on a daily basis. And some of us got to be infected with the virus. It wasn't a joke since the virus was here, and our job requires us to move around, interact with people during interviews, during field, during press conferences. So this is one of the journalists who got infected with the virus, and luckily he is still alive. B. Marshall CGTN says, learning a lot from COVID-19 lockdown on food security. I'm buying fruits, vegetables, eggs, and honey direct from farmers from Murang'a, Thika, and Narok, delivering to my doorstep in Nairobi. Enable our farmers, and Kenya will be food secure. Beatrice Marshall can afford to order food from Murang'a or from anywhere else up to the doorstep. But what about those Kenyans who cannot afford? Now, this is a good platform of talking about food security in the country. If the government enables our farmers to be well equipped, therefore, Kenya, I think, will be food secure in as much as sometimes we don't get to, some of us get to go hungry during this pandemic. Now, away from social media, let's go on the street, where it's not really the street, but a few journalists sent the videos on how this pandemic has influenced them. Let's take a look.
The impact of COVID-19 pandemic to the agriculture sector has been humongous, especially the export producers. Right now we see farmers are even stuck with their flowers because they cannot sell them to France because of the COVID-19 restrictions.
We've seen so many businesses go under, and even with all the stimulus packages, we've not yet seen them pick up. We're still seeing the sector struggle under the burden of lack of finances, among other reasons.
The global entertainment industry was hit in all sides negatively. Cinemas were closed, box movies were not making any money, and a lot of artists were left in a space where they did not know what to turn to.
Apart from all the businesses and industries that have been affected worldwide, journalism was not spared. Journalists from across the country have had their own share of experiences with the effects of COVID-19 virus while on duty.
I would say it was the order of the day during those times, and it is still the order of the day during this time in various social media platforms. Trust you me, there is no media house that can beat social media in breaking news. But the big question is, what kind of news are they breaking? By a huge percentage, you will realize that the kind of news that are being broken in social media are false or fake news, yet our audiences embrace this kind of news. Now you want to come as a journalist or a reporter or a media personality trying to tell these guys that, look, the kind of information that you have from the social media is a false one. They will not trust you. It will take quite a time, or rather it will take a lot of time for it to sink into them that the kind of information they got was a false information.
So COVID-19 stopped being a Nairobi affair. It stopped being a Mombasa affair because right now it's moved to us. It's even stopped being your town affair. It's in the village. It's in your next door neighbor's house. It's in your neighbor's house. It's at the office. It is everywhere.
Nairobi, we can see some cases of at least being strict adherence to COVID-19 measures. People are adhering to the wearing of masks. People are washing their hands. People are doing a lot of stuff. But compared to Homa Bay, people are relaxed. It only became the other day that in the market people are being arrested because of face masks, sanitizers, washing of hands and stuff. But so far so good. The county government of Homa Bay has ensured that safety measures are really taken care of. If you go against the law as prescribed by the president, you get arrested. So at least we can see that there are some changes in Homa Bay County.
We've had a number of journalists being attacked while from or to work during this COVID-19 pandemic curfew times that the government introduced to control the spread of COVID-19. And some journalists were even killed. Yes, we might have been listed under the essential work providers, but what about our security? The big question that a lot of media houses, a lot of journalists, and even the government fail to ask themselves, what about our security?
There's the issue of the burials of our dead, which is coming back. Initially, it was about burying the dead within 48 hours, which we thought was being done because those who died of COVID-19 were thought to be super spreaders of the virus, which we found out that wasn't the case. And so that changed, and we were told, yeah, you can just bury your dead. But then it's still going on of burying our dead within 48 hours. It's not being done in the most humane ways. There's one was recently buried hurriedly at night in this second phase, and it wasn't so good. So as much as we do these containment measures, let's be humane in how we do it or how we carry them.
Thank you, Vincent, for that great analysis from social media and also journalists who interact with people on a daily basis in their line of duty. Now we have time for one more thing, and that is debrief take home. And today we want to deduct it from everything that our panelists have said. And if anything they've said is what we could go by, is that governments must ensure that whatever interventions they apply during the COVID-19, it's short, sharp, and targeted. All the government machinery must go towards sectors that can inject vibrancy back into the economy. As Odelia has said, as Arnold has said, it has to be the SME sector, because in Africa, the economies are powered by small businesses which empower people, employ people, pay taxes, and contribute to GDPs. In South Africa, as Edwin has said, sectors like the hospitality, whose fate is intertwined with 1,000,001 other sector, has to be looked into. If you look at Europe, if you look at the Americas, all their money is going in the fight against COVID-19. Africans cannot afford to have their money diversified into different clusters of politics, of campaigns, and then what's left is what is for COVID. It can never happen like that. If we are to fight COVID-19 and revive our African economies, then each and every single bit of resources has to go into the fight against COVID-19. It's been a great season, 4 seasons and counting, of Metropole Debrief every single Thursday, suiting up at 8 p.m. East African time and coming here to break down the big stories of the week, shaping the business landscape and telling you how they affect your bottom line. This has been the Pan-African edition of Meet the Press, which marks the end of this season. We'll see you again in season 5. Hopefully, it will be bigger and better, and maybe many other new faces, who knows. You can always talk to us at Ndira Oganga on Twitter, at Metropole TVKE. The hashtag to use is Metropole Debrief, or you can send us an email, metropoletv@metropole.co.ke. Have a good evening.